Well, folks, Peter Brandt is at it again. The legendary chart analyst, hailed as one of the most prominent voices in crypto, just can't seem to keep XRP out of his sights. I literally made a video yesterday about his latest comments, and here we are again. He's back, taking yet another swipe at XRP. What's wild is that over the years, Peter has repeatedly claimed he's done talking about XRP. He's even said posting about it stirs up emotions he'd rather avoid. Tired of fake gurus who claim to be expert traders but never trade live? I trade live on the second largest crypto exchange, where everything is transparent and results can't be faked. For over 440 days, I've consistently closed every month in profit. In the last 90 days alone, my followers have earned over $34,000 in profits with only 4% drawdown. Verified results, not empty claims. Want to see my verified stats? Click the first link in my profile and start copying my trades for free today. Yet despite his final XRP posts, he just can't quit. It's like a soap opera at this point. And now, we've got another update, another insult. It's almost comical. Don't get me wrong, Peter's been trading and analyzing charts for nearly 50 years, and he is genuinely brilliant at what he does. But when it comes to XRP, oh boy. For the last decade, every major move that's mattered, he's either missed or predicted completely wrong. Every single one. It's honestly mind-blowing. His bias is so obvious it practically screams from his analysis. It's like he's got XRP derangement syndrome. His dislike for it is irrational, and it blinds him. Why he has such a vendetta, I have no idea. But here we are, watching the saga continue. Let me start by saying this. Yes, it's entirely possible the price of XRP could drop further. As of this moment, it's been trending downward. But let's talk about something more entertaining. Peter Brandt's commentary. Spoiler alert, I don't take him seriously, at all. Even if he magically ends up being right, I just ask, why should I have trusted you anyway? The guy's been wrong for a decade, and trust me, it's giving major boy who cried wolf energy. I was just saying in a video yesterday, why would anyone believe him? If by some cosmic accident he nails it, I'd still doubt him. It's like betting on a broken clock. Anyway, there's this whole idea of XRP possibly dropping to $1. Sure, it's out there. But for a more credible take, I've pulled insights from a few chart analysts who actually know what they're talking about. Some of their perspectives are bearish, scary even. But hey, I'm here to share all viewpoints, even the ones we hate. That said, I'm firmly in bull mode. Short-term dips, no big deal. I don't think we're seeing cycle tops yet, and this market still feels like it's following historical patterns. I fully believe we'll see a blow-off top, Bitcoin dominance dropping, alt season madness, and XRP entering price discovery. But I'm not afraid to give the stage to opposing perspectives, even if it's not what XRP holders want to hear. I just draw the line at Peter Brandt's XRP takes. He's great on other things, but when it comes to XRP, hard pass. He gained a ton of attention in the crypto space, and rightly so, for nailing Bitcoin's peak price at nearly $20,000 in December 2017, despite being bombarded with claims he was wrong. Then, to everyone's surprise, he also called the bottom in December 2018 with pinpoint accuracy. Clearly the guy has talent, but when it comes to XRP, his logic goes out the window, and it's honestly hilarious. Here's the latest bit of drama from March 26th, which I covered in my video. And yes, there's an update because apparently he just can't stop obsessing over XRP. It's practically living rent-free in his head. He posted this. Updating a chart for those interested. I have no vested interest up or down. XRP is forming a textbook head and shoulders pattern. We are now range bound above $3. I would not want to be short below $1.90. I would not want to own it. Head and shoulders projects to $1.07. Don't shoot the messenger. When he says he has no vested interest, let's be real, that's nonsense. He's got XRP derangement syndrome and clearly wants it to crash and burn. The bias is off the charts, bordering on irrational. And yet, he's screaming this to an audience of 781,300 followers. Think about that for a second. Wild, right? No wonder crypto media is all over his XRP takes lately. But honestly, this just makes me that much happier to have a platform where I can call out this nonsense. His takes on XRP, totally not worth the hype. And I'll keep pushing back against the garbage. If he brings up Bitcoin, I'll pay attention. Because I know you're not caught up in Bitcoin derangement syndrome. You've just got XRP derangement syndrome. And that's a whole different story. Anyway, here's the update. And trust me, it's funny. This jab is something I and plenty of others usually aim at Bitcoin, but let me share. Yesterday afternoon, he said, and don't shoot the messenger here, Your favorite beanie baby slash pet rock crypto displays a classic complex head and shoulders top. There it is. I didn't come up with that, but honestly, I've been saying for months now that Bitcoin is the pet rock of crypto. It's true, and it's hilarious. Sure, it exists, and there are some appealing traits like decentralization or the lack of counterparty risk. But let's be real, what does Bitcoin actually do? Name one specific utility Bitcoin offers that XRP doesn't. Go ahead, I'll wait. Exactly, it doesn't exist. Bitcoin doesn't do much, but hey, it's still hanging around like a well-loved pet rock. XRP is often dismissed as the pet rock of crypto, which is honestly laughable when you consider what it can actually do compared to Bitcoin. Let's talk facts. XRP is purpose-built for global payments, making it the most adopted and effective solution in that space. It's lightning fast, effectively settling transactions in real time, and the cost? A fraction of a penny per transaction. People value these attributes, and for good reason. But, of course, here we go again with the same tired nonsense about XRP. It's the classic case of XRP arrangement syndrome, a condition where critics can't help but spew disingenuous takes. This guy claims XRP could become bullish if it breaks $3, but if not, we're supposedly heading to $1.07. And if you have a problem with that, we'll take it up with McGee and Edwards. Who are they? Famous chart analysts? Maybe his poker buddies? Who knows? Honestly, who cares? Their names mean absolutely nothing here. It's absurd how these recycled claims keep getting attention, forcing us to address them. But let's be clear, this guy has been dead wrong about every major move in the past decade. Every single one. And yet, now he's the authority? Sure, okay. It's beyond ridiculous at this point. I refuse to take him seriously on anything related to XRP. But hey, if nothing else, mocking this nonsense is wildly entertaining. It's so absurd, it's almost an art form. Oh my goodness. So here we are, diving into what's happening now. And by the way, it's worth mentioning, there's been quite a bit of analyst pushback lately. Over the past few weeks, I've pointed out some of those voices. Some are calling for a head and shoulders pattern to play out, which would be bearish. Fair enough, right? Fine. There are analysts out there saying that, but honestly, there are far more I follow who are like, hey, come on. I even recall the blockchain backer mentioning that head and shoulders is one of the first chart patterns you learn. And because it's so widely known, people often think that's what's happening when they see price action like this. Sure, it could be the case here. Fine. But why should I trust it? Honestly, why trust someone who's made so many questionable calls? It's a boy who cried wolf situation at this point. That said, I'm not afraid to share differing opinions. There are analysts warning this head and shoulders pattern might actually play out, potentially leading to a price drop. For example, Sally Martinez, a chart analyst, posted just yesterday that if XRP can break above $3, it could invalidate the current head and shoulders pattern and flip the outlook bullish. Interesting, right? Her view aligns with Peter Brandt's. But let's be real. I don't trust Peter Brandt's take on XRP. Why should I? He hasn't exactly earned that trust. So here we are. If the head and shoulders formation does play out, Martinez pointed to a possible drop to around $1.29, with an ominous arrow marking the way. Well, I haven't been following analysts closely for years now, but here's the thing. When they throw out bold predictions like this, it's usually more about direction than specifics. It's not necessarily about hitting that exact price point. They're just saying, hey, this could happen if things play out this way. So, does this guy really think XRP will crash to $1.29? Maybe, maybe not. He could just be pointing out a possible trend. Either way, here's another example for you. And let me be clear, I'm not here to freak anyone out. I was joking about that earlier. Still, there are analysts who believe a drop could happen. Here's a chart from Rakesh Upadhyay, who writes for Cointelegraph. Let's talk about what he's saying. And yeah, this is probably the most scary stuff I could dig up, but honestly, I'm not losing sleep over it. Personally, I don't buy into some of these gloomy price predictions. In fact, I think we're headed for a massive blow-off top eventually. So, I'm not worried, not one bit. Here's the thing, I've always believed that patience is the real edge in crypto. My strategy hasn't changed since I jumped into this space in 2017. I'm holding steady because I know time works in my favor. Those who panic, they lose. Simple as that. But let's circle back to Rakesh's analysis. He noted that XRP dropped below the moving averages on March 26th, which apparently means the bears are still selling on any minor rally. Now the big question is whether they'll push the price down to that key support level at $2. And let me tell you, a lot of analysts are watching that $2 mark like a hawk. Buyers are gearing up to fiercely defend the $2 level for XRP, as a break below it could trigger a bearish head and shoulders pattern, sending the XRP USDT pair plummeting to 1.27. On the flip side, a strong rebound off $2 could keep the pair bouncing around inside the triangle for a bit longer. The bulls, however, could regain control with a breakout and close above the resistance line. Now, is Peter Brandt finally right after a decade of misses? Honestly, I'm skeptical. Even if the market does break down sharply, credible crypto analysts like Credible Crypto, one of the sharpest minds out there in my opinion, remain optimistic. He's confident that XRP will hit $20 to $30 this cycle, even if the price dips first. For now, he predicts a potential drop to $1.60 to $1.80 before XRP finds its footing and rockets upward. That's still a far cry from Peter Brandt's $1.27 target. Talk about a price gap. Meanwhile, chart analyst Dom has been dropping some interesting insights. His first post in this thread, from March 25th, has aged pretty well so far. He's shared a few updates since, and they've got people talking. Stay tuned as the XRP drama plays out. It's only been a few days since the XRP lawsuit news officially wrapped up, but the market's reaction has been surprisingly muted. No fireworks, no major price spikes. If you've been following me, you'll know this isn't exactly shocking. I've been saying this outcome was likely for weeks now. Still, you have to wonder, is this lack of reaction a good or bad sign for short to mid-term price action? Let's dig in. When the news dropped, the market barely flinched. As shown in the charts I've highlighted, there was only a brief ripple, no pun intended. For now, I'm monitoring closely to see if positions start to unwind now that the 5-year-long SEC drama is finally over. The next couple of weeks are crucial. This could be the moment prices start to bleed, but here at the mid-range, I'm not convinced yet. For now, I'm staying out of any positions until we see clear breaks at key levels. Keep your eyes open. Price action over the next week or two will reveal a lot. Yesterday, I posted an update. The unwinding of positions is already underway, no surprises there. As I've been saying, this is the point where bleeding could start, and right now, we've got Bitcoin tanking, stocks dipping near their lows. It's tough to pin all the blame on XRP. This isn't an XRP-specific problem, it's a bigger market issue. Bulls need to make a move soon, or this range could be in serious trouble. Key takeaway: don't single out XRP here. This is a broader market liquidity issue. As I mentioned in my last video, go check it out, we're seeing global liquidity on the rise, and yet, Bitcoin is lagging behind. Alright, so here we are, at a point where plenty of market analysts and financial gurus believe we're on the edge of a market shift. The long-standing correlation suggests this could be the moment for markets to move upward, and naturally, XRP would likely follow. This doesn't feel like the time to let fear take the wheel, at least that's how I see it. Dom, for example, pointed out something interesting. While most people anticipated a massive rally after the XRP lawsuit wrapped up, he took the contrarian view and warned of a possible exit pump weeks ago. 2 days back, he even cautioned that this could be the start of a steady price bleed, and so far, he's been spot on. Someone asked him, "Is there any chance of a reversal back to an uptrend?" His response was, yes, of course. The range won't technically break unless we lose $2. But let's be real. How much upside can we expect when the broader market is in free fall? If stocks are tanking across the board, XRP is going to feel the heat too. Still, that's not an XRP-specific issue. It's just the macro environment throwing its weight around. And honestly, even if that happens, I'm not worried. Fear isn't a strategy, and I'm sticking to that. Here's the deal. I'm laying out some of the more intimidating scenarios out there, not to scare you, but to prepare you. If things get rocky, you won't need to panic. No one, no analyst, no expert knows exactly what's coming, but these are all possibilities worth considering, and knowledge is power. Peter Brandt, huh? Honestly, I can't take the guy seriously, but hey, sometimes he says things that actually make sense. So here's the deal. If what I'm about to share happens, there's no need to lose your mind. Stay calm, chill, and maybe even nod knowingly like, yeah, I saw this coming. Because guess what? Plenty of sharp chart analysts have warned us that this could very well be in the cards. Life moves on. It's not the apocalypse, people. This is exactly why I highlight this stuff. Take this post from Greg Crypto, for example. He shared this just yesterday. XRP, 90 to 120 days until all-time high. He breaks it down with some compelling analysis, using the Relative Strength Index chart. He He points out that XRP tends to have two peaks during bull runs. In 2021, the second peak hit after 90 days. In 2017, it took 120 days. Based on these historical cycles, we may be looking at a golden opportunity within this same timeline. The big question is, will history repeat itself, or will this time be different with an even longer wait for the peak? I've been watching this pattern for years, and while I'm definitely not a chart analyst, seriously, that stuff bores me to tears, I can confirm the pattern is real. Back in 2017, XRP had two massive surges, one around March or April, and another about 6 months later, in December. Fast forward to the next cycle, and we saw it again. November 2020 brought the first big pop, followed by another in April 2021. Now here we are in November 2024, fresh off another major burst. The question is, will we see a second surge echoing past cycles? Time will tell, but for now, it's worth keeping an eye on these patterns. When are we finally going to see that face-melting rally? If history repeats itself, it might not be too far off. Looking at past trends, hitting a new all-time high within 90 to 120 days, followed by price discovery, doesn't sound crazy at all. It actually lines up pretty well. History has a way of giving us clues, though predicting exact timing. That's impossible. No one can do it consistently. But if we're talking probabilities based on what's happened before, this scenario makes a lot of sense. And honestly, I still believe it's coming. The recent price dips, they don't change the bigger picture. Crypto markets are volatile. That's just the nature of the game. This isn't the end of the world, folks. The best days are still ahead. But remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't make buying or selling decisions based on what I say. That would be a terrible idea. Always do your research.